The best way to get better at programming is to practice. And in this example, we're going to check for how do we test if conditions using strings. As always, this file is available for download using the link in the description below. We'll pause for a couple seconds so you can download it. Then you can either choose to attempt it on your own and then check your answer, or follow along with us. All right, so let's get started. Let's check the easiest thing first. I'm going to say something like if S1, which I have here as hello world, equals hello world. Now notice that this is the same value here that I put in. So we're going to say test1 is equal to true. Okay? We're going to have a series of tests here. Here we're testing a variable against a string literal. The next will be, can we test two different variables? So I'll say something like if S1 equals S3. And we'll say test2 is equal to true. So we're going to run these real quick just to see what our answers are. And you'll notice that the equality operator works with both of these. So it's looking at the content of the string. We can also test for inequality, and I'm going to say bang or exclamation point equals, and we're going to test for S2. So is hello world equal to hello earth? If it is not true, we're going to say the world is not the earth. Run this real quick. And notice that is correct. The world is not equal to Earth. So with strings, they're not checking for equivalency in language. They're looking for, does this letter match this letter, match this letter? And since world and Earth are different, therefore this cannot be true. We use a not equal operator. Well, what if we check for equality with case sensitivity? So we have S1, which is hello world, and S4, which is hello world, but in all lowercase. So I'm going to run this one more time. And when we run this, you'll notice that nothing happens. Well, this is because it's not equal, and we're checking for equality. So this had a real problem. It evaluated false. We skip over our true block. There's nothing there to do. So what happens if we want to check on that? Well, we have more than just the equality. So I'm going to say S1 dot, and notice I also have equals. And I can compare this with another object. So specifically, we're going to be looking for a string object. We also have content equals. And if I scroll down here, you can kind of see what that is. We can give it a sequence of characters or a string buffer if you prefer. And this allows us to be able to check against other strings, checking the content. We also have contains, which says, hey, is this a substring? Is it within this? We also have starts with and ends with, so we can look to see, hey, I don't need to check the whole string, just the beginning part or the end part. But the other one, if we wanted to ignore case, is we have an equals, but ignore case. So we say equals, ignore case, in this case, S4. If we run this, it's going to come up and say case doesn't matter. And that's because we're using a special method which is going to ignore our case. It's kind of like saying, hey, let me temporarily send both of these to all lowercase and see if it works. And these are our most common ways that we're going to use conditions to help us test inside of something like Java.